Please write this down. If you multiply or divide by a negative number, flip the inequality. Pause the video and write that down. If you multiply or divide by a negative number, flip the inequality. If you look at the key concept box at the bottom of page 69 or 369, that is what they are talking about. And then if you turn over to page 370, that top part, that gives an explanation as to why you would flip your inequality. And by flipping your inequality, I'm talking about if it was a less than, it becomes a greater than, and greater thans become less than. This has to do with the fact that two negatives make a positive. So because two negatives make a positive, you're going to flip your inequality if you multiply or divide by a negative number. Only if you multiply or divide by a negative number. So look at example 4. Solve each inequality, then graph the solution on a number line. So letter A says 5x, negative 5x is less than 45. Well, we know that 5 and x are being multiplied. Opposite of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide by a negative 5. My x started on the left. It is still on the left. 45 divided by negative 5 is negative 9. But now because I divided by a negative, my inequality changes from a less than to a greater than. So if you look at their graph, negative 9 is my answer, so my dot goes at negative 9. There is no line under my inequality, so it is an open circle. And then because I had to flip my inequality, it is now greater than, so I'm going to shade to the greater side. Remember, less than is on the left, greater than is on the right. Look at letter B. Letter B says b over negative 8 minus 2 equals negative 8. We're going to do the same first step in the fact that we're going to add 2. Remember, adding or subtracting does not change your inequality. I now have b over negative 8 is greater than or equal to negative 6. Draw my line back to my inequality, or back to my variable. b and negative 8 are being divided. Opposite of division is multiplication. So I'm going to now multiply by negative 8. Negative 6 times negative 8 is a positive 48. Because I now multiplied by a negative, I'm going to flip my inequality. So again, look at the number line. 48 was the answer, so the dot goes at 48. I flipped my inequality, so it's now a less than. Because it is a less than, I'm going to shade to the less side, which is to the left. Pause the video and do 4A and 4B. 4A says negative y over 4 is less than or equal to 3. Draw my line. Y and negative 4 are being divided. Opposite of division is multiplication, so that means I'm going to multiply by negative 4. My y is on the left. It will stay on the left. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12, but now because I divided or multiplied by a negative, I have to flip my inequality. So again, when you go to graph these, you only need 3 numbers. Negative 12 in the middle. 1 greater than it on the right, 1 less than it on the left. These should be in counting order. Small numbers are on the left, large numbers are on the right. There's a line under my inequality, so it is closed. It says y is greater, so I'm going to shade to the greater side, which is to the right. If you haven't yet, pause the video and do B. Draw my line through my inequality. 2 and f are being multiplied. Opposite of multiplication is division. I'm going to go ahead and leave this as negative 7 over 2. When I go to graph it, 2 goes into 7 3 times, so this would be negative 3.5. Negative 3.5 falls in between negative 3 and negative 4. Negative 3 and negative 4. It is in closed circle because there is a line under my inequality. Be careful, notice my f is on the right. So when I do this, I would encourage you to flip this around. If 7/2 is greater than f, then that means that f is less than negative 7/2. Less than means I'm going to shade to the left.